Hi Coach, welcome to the Old School Football Clinic. Today I'm going to show you my favorite football drill, the 4-on-2 drill, also known as the linebacker drill. I'm not sure where it originated from, possibly Bud Wilkinson or George Allen. It is similar to the old BBT, also known as the 2-on-1, also known as the Nutcracker drill. But instead of 2-on-1, it's 4-on-2. I picked it up from one of my brothers, and he picked it up at a clinic many years ago. Here's the setup. You start with these 4 red boxes. They could be cones, they could be towels, dummies, jerseys, pylons, whatever. They're set up 10 yards apart, so the box that you create is 10 yards by 10 yards. The 2 X's represent the defensive players, and the 4 zeros down here represent the 4 offensive players. The C's are the coaches. I would usually stand here, blow the whistle to start the drill. I would watch for the out of bounds, and I would make sure the defensive players did not cross the line of scrimmage. The coach back here would watch for the out of bounds and also declare if a touchdown is scored. This coach would watch the blocking, looking for clips or illegal use of hands or something of that nature. The blue box over here would represent the rest of the team and maybe a few other coaches. They would hoot, holler, and cheer for the defensive players. It's quite a challenge for 2 people to stop 4 people. We'd ask for volunteers. It started out as a linebacker drill, but we ended up using it for all of our defensive players. And the volunteers would run out and get out here on defense and then take on the 4 offensive players. They would go 3 or 4 times. Sometimes if we're hurting for time, they would go and if a touchdown was scored against them, they were done, and we'd ask for 2 other people or choose 2 other people to come out and play defense. So how does the drill work? Well, of the 4 offensive players, 3 of them are blockers, and 1's the ball carrier. The 3 blockers will be in a 3-point stance, and the ball carrier will be in a 2-point stance, obviously carrying a football. The 3 blockers sometimes would huddle up, get together, come up with a little strategy. Maybe the first 2 would go after the first linebacker, maybe the first 1 would, maybe all 3 of them would. But they can come up with anything they want to do, and they're going to come down the line, cut 90 degrees, and go after any way they want to these 2 defensive players. The key to the drill is this linebacker right here. He has to step up and fight for this spot. If he doesn't fight for the closest area around the cone, and if he gets driven back by the first blocker, like this, there will be an alley for the offense to run through, and there's no way the defense is going to stop him. This is why this is a linebacker drill. Somebody over here has to step up and fight like crazy using their hands for this spot, and it becomes a fight just for this spot. If they lose that spot, the defense will be done. So the offensive players come down the line, they cut at 90 degrees, they can block any person they wish. And the defense reacts, fights with their hands, fights for the territory. The ball carrier will also come down the line, and he'll cut 90 degrees and then go any direction that he wants to go. What happens if the defensive players stay in his hip pocket, they can keep forcing the ball carrier to run out of room and push him out of bounds. He has to cut at 90 degrees. And that's it. The offense may score a touchdown, or they may get 1 yard, or they may get no gain at all. We'll let the defensive players go 3 or 4 times. We'll keep track, and sometimes at the end we'll have a championship runoff between the 2 best defensive players. So that's the way the drill is set up. This drill is pure football, and I think there are many benefits to running this drill. Now, I would not run it daily. I would make it like a treat. I'd run it maybe once a week in the preseason and maybe a couple times during the year. The benefits for the defensive players are obvious. These linebackers have to step up, and they've got to use their hands, and they've got to fight for territory. They can't back up. They can't take a side. They've got to get in there and plug things up. It's a great linebacker drill. It's a great drill for the offensive blockers. There are not very many drills where these guys get to have some fun and really go after somebody. Here, 2 or 3 of their buddies can get in here and drive, keep their legs moving, shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage, and move these people out so the ball carrier has an opportunity or has a cushion or has some daylight to run for a score. And it's also a great drill for the ball carrier. It teaches the ball carrier to cut 90 degrees, that he can't continue to run out of bounds. It's important to have his shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage. So if he doesn't score a touchdown, at least he can make 3 or 4 yards. It teaches him that the hole that he needs will be smaller if he cuts at 90 degrees. It'll also teach him to hold on to the ball with 2 hands because it gets pretty congested in here. Now, if you're worried about injuries, I think this is a pretty safe drill, especially a safe tackling drill. There are some things you can do, though. You can change the size of the box if you're worried about too much contact. You can also run this drill without live tackling. You can have live blocking, but nobody can leave the ground. That way the defensive players can still hit, wrap, and lift or push their guys out of bounds. So I think there are safe ways of doing this. This is a great drill, all levels of football, and I think it's pure football, and I think you ought to give it a try. So I hope you've enjoyed this.